I'm Kevin, otherwise known as Forum BX257, here to bring you another old G.I. Joe toy review. And today I'll be taking a look at the G.I. Joe First Sergeant, the 1984 Duke. Now, Duke actually premiered in the summer of 1983 as a mail-in. And I'll be taking a look at that figure as well. As a sergeant, you expect him to be loud and gritty and sort of in your face, moving things along despite how bad things might be getting in the field. That's not the impression that you get from Duke in any form. Even on the file card, there's a certain, I don't know what you would call it, politeness about the character. And you know, I mean, as an iconic artwork that he has here, he's, you know, smiling. He certainly looks, you know, the part of a seasoned soldier, but he's also smiling, giving you a sort of friendly air. Whereas I believe a top sergeant really shouldn't be like that. As a matter of fact, he seems to have been replaced in that role by Sergeant Slaughter, who, as a lot of people tend to think of as being overly loud and obnoxious. To me, that's what a sergeant really should be. In essence, I think Duke would have made a really good low-ranking officer rather than a first sergeant. Here I have a mid-1983 ad, which is the mail order form for Duke. Now, for a measly 7 flag points and $1 worth of shipping and handling, you can get the Duke figure here. Another interesting thing is that he comes with binoculars, gun, helmet, and file card. No mention of his backpack quite yet. It also says Duke commands by winning respect, a line which they liked so much that they actually did put it on the file card. Now this is the mail-in version of the file card, and it's slightly different from any other version of the file card which came afterwards, as Duke was available in several different forms, not only carded in 1984, but he was available in different forms, such as a J.C. Penney 3-pack. And what you got with the file card at first was, well, of course you got a bagged Duke, but the first mail order figures of Duke, they didn't have like holes in the helmets, and I'm not quite sure why. Quite frankly, I can see that as being kind of annoying if you wanted to put a visor on there. The other thing is that the earlier versions of the mail-in figure also came with a little US flag, which you could, well, you have to peel off the little center bit, and you can put it on his bicep on the side there. Now later on, in 1984, he was finally released on card, so his regular file card, the file card that's used for every other version of the figure released, has a different portrait. The new one has more of his chest there. However, the text is exactly the same. And finally, onto the figure. The figure itself is actually rather nice. I would say it's a very nice bunch of complementary colors, especially seeing as how he's actually made up of several different reused parts. The only thing which is unique on this Duke figure is his head, his chest, or at least the front part of his chest, and his accessories, the binoculars. Of course, later versions, he got the hole in his helmet, so ear holes. Not quite sure why they went and changed that back. He has jet black binoculars, an M32 submachine gun, which is a green remold of 1982 and 1983's Stalker's M32 pulverizer submachine gun. And of course we have the infamous backpack. And by infamous, I mean it drives other collectors up the wall, because this thing, unlike the other stuff which is, you know, molded or painted in a different color, this one is based on Airborne's backpack and unfortunately looks very much the same. The color is only very slightly off. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure the video was really not picking this up. And despite the fact that on the inside of Duke's backpack is actually very plain, the inside of Airborne's backpack has this weird cross thing in the middle. You really would have to sort of color match the color of the backpacks to the tan parts of the figure's outfit. I believe Duke's tan is a bit richer, whereas Airborne's tan is a bit sort of pale or washed out. And of course the components of Duke is he has Doc's back, arms, and waist. He has Major Blood's thighs and Gung Ho's lower legs. So yeah, he's a reuse of quite a lot of parts. This last statement, the actual statement which is from the character himself, is very strange in just the way it would be read. There's a sort of slow, sort of laid back and yet stubborn way of what he's trying to put across here. And I thought, for such a polite, refined kind of character, if they wind up sort of building him up to be, it's a very odd way of him speaking. Until I thought, you know what, if he had a voice like John Wayne, John the Duke Wayne, just the way this thing would read would make perfect sense. So maybe there is a lot more to Duke's code name than I originally thought. Well, that's all the time I have right now. Please check out my Facebook page for more information and behind-the-scenes photos for these reviews. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for next time to see another 1980s G.I. Joe toy review. See you then.